Welcome to this explainer. I am so excited you're here today because we're going to unpack a daily mystery that, let's be honest, frustrates pretty much everyone at some point. You totally know the routine. You eat your oatmeal, you drink your fancy green juice, you skip the bacon because, hey, you're really trying to do the right thing for your body. So why in the world are you absolutely exhausted by the time the clock strikes 10 a.m.? Well, today we are breaking down the healthy breakfast mistakes that are secretly draining your energy, and we'll look at the exact data that reveals the one simple swap that can literally change everything. So, let me paint a picture for you, and I bet this is going to sound incredibly relatable. You wake up, right? You're highly motivated. You make what you genuinely think is the perfect healthy breakfast. Maybe it's a big, comforting bowl of cereal with skim milk, or maybe it's a fresh fruit smoothie and a granola bar. You head to work, you're feeling really good about your choices. But then, mid-morning hits. Suddenly, out of nowhere, you are fighting just to keep your eyes open at your desk. You're yawning, your focus is completely gone, and you're just staring at the clock, counting down to lunch.
Okay, let's dive into this. When you get hit with that mid-morning slump, your very first instinct is probably to blame your sleep schedule, right? Or maybe you think, I just didn't brew my coffee strong enough today. But the source material we're analyzing today reveals a completely different reality. Based on an experiment where energy levels were tracked for 30 days straight, the data points to one highly specific culprit. It's your morning meal. It is not your sleep, it's not your coffee, it is, without a doubt, your breakfast.
To really understand why this is happening to us, we need to look at mistake number one, this sugar trap. See, we've all been conditioned to think we're making these incredibly healthy choices when we reach for things like instant oatmeal, those beautiful acai bowls, or that convenient low-fat yogurt. But let's actually look at how this builds step by step inside your body. The biology here is super fascinating. Look at step one. You eat those supposedly healthy foods, but they're actually loaded with refined carbs and added sugars. Then step two, because of that hidden sugar load, your blood sugar absolutely skyrockets within 30 minutes of eating. Moving to step three, your pancreas literally hits the panic button and dumps a massive amount of insulin into your system just to bring that blood sugar back down. Which leads us directly to step four, the crash. That 10 a.m. slump you feel, it's not random at all. It is a literal blood sugar nosedive happening right there in your veins.
And it gets even more surprising when we look at our morning beverages. Just take a look at this comparison. On one side, we have a really popular bottled green juice. On the other, a standard can of soda. Now, you would naturally assume the green juice is the superior energy-boosting option, right? Well, your pancreas actually begs to differ. Without the natural fiber that you get from eating a whole piece of fruit, drinking that green juice is functionally the exact same as drinking sugar water. In fact, the source notes that one incredibly popular brand of bottled green juice actually contains more sugar than a can of soda. No way, right? But your body processes it with the exact same massive spike and devastating crash.
That brings us right to our next major culprit. Mistake number two, the all-carb illusion.
This is exactly what happens when you eat an all-carb breakfast with absolutely zero protein to balance it out. Just think about your classic quick breakfast. 2 slices of toast with jam, grabbing a quick banana on your way out the door, or pouring a bowl of cereal. The fundamental problem with these foods is that they digest fast, like really fast. In fact, listen to this quote directly from our source material. "A plain bagel spikes your blood sugar higher than actual table sugar." Wow. The author even shared a personal anecdote of eating a bagel with cream cheese every single morning. And the result? By 10:30 a.m., they were dealing with severe brain fog and felt completely starving. Adding sugary cream cheese to a plain bagel that already acts like table sugar in your bloodstream, that is an absolute recipe for an energy disaster.
So what's missing from that picture? Well, it's protein and fat. Think of it this way. If carbohydrates are the gas pedal that accelerates your blood sugar, protein and fat are the brakes your digestion desperately needs. They physically slow down the digestive process. They keep your blood sugar stable and nice and even. Without those brakes engaged, your body just burns right through that carbohydrate fuel, leaving you completely running on empty within an hour. And this brilliantly illustrates our third and final trap, mistake number three, the healthy smoothie overload. We absolutely all love them. And let's be real, they look incredibly healthy on Instagram. But let's actually break down a standard recipe as outlined in the source. We're talking 3 bananas, a whole cup of mango, a big handful of mixed berries, a hearty squeeze of honey, and top the whole shebang off with oat milk. On the surface, sure, it sounds like a lovely tropical fruit salad, but nutritionally, you're basically blending a dessert when you combine all of that into a liquid format. When you calculate what those ingredients actually amount to, it is honestly shocking. That single quote-unquote healthy smoothie contains 80 grams of sugar. To put that into perspective for you, that is the exact equivalent of 20 teaspoons of sugar, all packed into a drink that you're probably going to finish in, about 5 minutes?
Your body simply cannot process that massive flood of sugar gracefully. It's practically a biological impossibility to handle that much liquid sugar that quickly without a massive system-wide spike.
And beyond just the sugar content, there is another physiological factor at play here. Drinking your calories simply does not trigger the same signals of fullness in your brain that physical chewing does. The mechanical act of chewing actually tells your body, hey, we are receiving substantial nourishment here. Without that, when you just chug a high-sugar smoothie, you end up in this terrible double bind. You are simultaneously exhausted from the sugar crash, and you are actually hungry again just an hour later. Now look, this doesn't mean we have to ban smoothies from our lives forever, for sure. We just have to learn to build them correctly.
Which brings us to the absolute best part of this explainer. The solution, the Power Breakfast Formula.
So the crucial point is this remarkably simple yet highly effective framework to ensure your morning meal actually fuels you instead of fooling you. The ultimate formula is protein plus fiber plus healthy fat. Look at how beautifully this works across totally different types of meals. If you're a savory breakfast person, combine 3 eggs for your protein, spinach for your fiber, and avocado for your healthy fat. If you prefer a breakfast bowl, use Greek yogurt, mix in some chia seeds, and add a handful of nuts. And hey, if you still want that morning smoothie, no problem at all. Just swap the sugar overload for protein powder, limit the fruit to just half a banana with some spinach for fiber, and use peanut butter with unsweetened almond milk for your healthy fats. These specific combinations ensure the meal digests slowly, giving you that steady, sustained energy you actually want.
The real-world data from the source material proves exactly how powerful this is. After 30 days of switching to this Power Breakfast formula, the results were totally undeniable. That dreaded 10 a.m. crash completely disappeared. There was absolutely no need to go hunting for a second cup of coffee. Mental focus was noticeably sharper throughout the entire morning. And perhaps best of all, there was no more starving at your desk, desperately thinking about your lunch plans by 11 a.m.
So, I want to leave you with a direct challenge for tomorrow morning. Audit your breakfast. Take a really hard look at what's on your plate or what's in your cup. If you realize it's mostly carbs and sugar, use the formula we just discussed to swap in some solid protein and healthy fat. Track how you feel for just 3 days. I guarantee you're going to notice a profound difference in your energy. So let me ask you, what is your current go-to breakfast? Think about it, and think about how you can tweak it to make it truly energy-friendly. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer, and remember to fuel your body with what it actually needs to thrive. Catch you next time.